Now hello once again, this is King KZ out here bringing you guys more One Piece content just to help you guys understand this One Piece story a little bit better by giving some food for thought, giving you guys stuff to think about, new angles and new explanations for everything that's going on in the story. So today I want to talk about a new, not really a new, but kind of like a thought I've already had, but just developing it more, and that is the Kid agenda and just how strong Kid is. Because I personally want Kid to be someone who's as strong as Luffy, as strong as the Straw Hats in general and just, get that rivalry going. It doesn't have to be such a very big thing in the One Piece story, a big part of the plot, but just have that as something on the side. Now, I already made a video, kind of a part 1 to this as my first YouTube video. Now, you don't have to check that out, but you can check it out if you want, just to see from where I came from to where I am right now, especially with the setup, because I will be repeating a lot of the points I make in that video here as well. So, before I get into this video, please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I love you whether you subscribe or whether you don't, but I think I love you a bit more if you do subscribe. Please subscribe, and if you want to watch other videos of mine, feel free. I always put a tag to tell you whether you will get spoiled by watching this video or not. So if you also don't know if you get spoiled by watching this video, check the tag down there. Just open the description. I put a tag to tell you whether you get spoiled or not. Whether you read the manga, whether you watch the anime, you'll know. Now, more into this video. We're talking about how Kid is potentially on Luffy's level of strength and what we have in the story that backs that up. And not just Kid himself, but the Kid Pirates as a whole. Because I think that's where more doubt comes in. Now, as for Kid himself, I think there's several factors that show Kid is on Luffy's level. One is just the fact that they've been rivals. They were shown as rivals in the archipelago, and even if Oda changed his mind, maybe you could say that he still showed them as kind of rivals on similar level of strength out during, in Wano, essentially. In Wano, he's shown it again. So, some of the things that are a bit more specific than that is Kid's character as a supernova, as someone who wants to see, be at the top. He, already has that kind of motivation, and we've never seen anyone with that motivation come this far in the story and be trash. It's never happened, right? So that, first of all, is one of the big things that I should say you should just think about. Which character has come this far in the story with motivation to become King of the Pirates and is absolutely trash? No one, right? So why should Kid be the first person? Next argument is this. Now, if you look at Kid's journey through the New World, he's done everything Luffy's done except the fact that he's met with Shanks and his crew, but Luffy hasn't, right? So Kid is basically ahead of the curve. And in relation to Kaido, they both had an unexpected meeting with Kaido, in which Kaido kind of just rained on their parade essentially, and both of them got stomped and thrown into Udon prison, where, mind you, they showed similar feats. Kid having a slight edge there because Kid actually managed to escape the prison on his own, Luffy couldn't. So, anyway, also when you go to Whole Cake Island, you have the whole thing where Kid is, he explains kind of what he did, but not really. He explains that, and the details are important. He fought against the Sweet Commander, wounded them, and got whatever he wanted, left. Which, mind you, sounds exactly the same thing, like the same thing Luffy did. Luffy went there, got what he wanted, copy of the poneglyph, Sanji, and he dipped. That's it. Difference is, Kid did it without any other crews helping him. He didn't have Capone Beige and his family, and he didn't have the German 66. Assassins with futuristic technology. Kid didn't have those, but he still managed to pull the same feats. Honestly, I'm beginning to think that Kid might be stronger. Anyway, Kid also mentions that obviously, in this whole situation, they just making him look bad. And Luffy, on the other hand, had Morgans. So it's just a different person telling the story. Of course, even for bounties and talking about that whole argument, you need the Marines or Morgans with the newspaper to kind of put these events out there for the Marines to raise your bounty. Kid didn't have that, so his bounty is still low. So we're not going to talk about bounty anymore. But Kid did mention that he fought one of the Sweet Commanders. Now, which Sweet Commander could it be? If I said Katakuri, I know people would lose their minds. So I'm not going to say Katakuri. I actually think now that it may be Cracker. Why do I think Cracker? At first I thought, no, we already used that guy before. Maybe Smoothie, because Smoothie hasn't been fought, you know. Snack was fought, Cracker was fought, Katakuri was fought. Maybe Smoothie because we haven't seen her fight anyone. But if I say Cracker, one, that means that Rouge, Luffy, and Kid would have had a run-in with Cracker. 3 supernovas with Cracker gives us an idea of kind of like referring people's strength. But also, Kid mentions that he wounded the Sweet Commander, took whatever he wanted. Now, if you look at Kid and Cracker, both of them have that kind of scar over the eye, one with the scar over the left eye, one with the scar over the right eye. So there again, we can see some kind of similarity between the two of them. Of course, this is something that was kind of similar with Tamago and Pedro, where both of them were missing an eye, and we know both of them were rivals. Of course, how exactly they started missing an eye would be a bit different, but I could imagine that in this fight, both of them wounded each other, and they were about similar level then. So obviously, Kid was similar level with Cracker back then, but then stuff happened, Kid left, and when Luffy came to Whole Cake Island, you could also say Luffy was similar level to Cracker then. So obviously, you know, Kid had his running with Cracker, similar level there. Luffy had his running with Cracker, similar level there. Why shouldn't they be similar level now? Because of course, since then, Kid has grown as well. He's done other things. Luffy, after that fight, grew and by doing other things. So why can't they be the same? Now, all that is to say that y'all people who are just hating on Kid just because he hasn't physically shown anything, like in your presence, like physically, not off screen, like just because he hasn't done that doesn't mean he's weak. Same thing with his crew. People talk about Zoro versus Killer and mention so much trash that it actually hurts my soul. So first of all, I'm going to go through that fight real brief for y'all just to mention the main points so that you people can actually understand. Now, we can understand this fight as Zoro bodied Killer, or we can understand it as, you know what, there was a lot of things that were kind of subjective in their fight, but it could also be looked at in a way where they were equal. Because mind you, apart from Zoro slashing the end, none of them used Haki. So as far as Haki adding to their swordsmanship, we don't know what that's like, but we do know their base form. Now, 2 things that both of them had which nerfed them. 1, Killer was mentally unstable after eating the smile. Zoro had food poisoning. 2, Zoro was using 2 swords instead of his usual 3 swords. Killer was using 2 scythes instead of his blades. Now I know that, what's his name? Our Fiji says that doesn't matter, but it does. You know what? It does. Because if he had, you know, his blades, which are his usual weapons, why wouldn't he use them unless they were taken away? And why wouldn't they give him back, right? Unless, you know, that makes him stronger than they'd want him to be. So both of them had a kind of body, physical, mental nerf, and both of them had a weapons nerf. So despite that, the fight was equal until Gyukimaru stepped in and started attacking Zoro. The fight was actually equal, right? So as far as we know, they were equal. Once that happened, Killer obviously got the upper hand. I don't think that if Zoro was, you know, much stronger than Killer, that he would start losing the moment Gyukimaru started attacking him a bit. And then of course, at the end, both of them were caught off guard. Zoro got stabbed, and then Killer got caught off guard because Zoro didn't go down. He stole the blade, and then we have Zoro with essentially 3 blades and Killer with 1. And Zoro decides to use Haki while he's surprised and takes him out, and Zoro also falls unconscious. So essentially in that fight, there's a lot of nuance, but you could say it was equal, and that wouldn't be crazy. Would it? No. You know it wouldn't. It's just your agenda. Your bias makes you want to say no, but you know I'm right. Okay, now let's talk about the rest of their crews, because people talk about the fact that the only other 2 people we really know are Heat and Wire, and they don't seem like they're strong. They seem like weak characters. But I want to say that, you know what, apart from Zoro and Luffy, the rest of the Straw Hats, bar Jinbei, are weak characters to, you know, other people, right? Because look at the story. People don't really rate Sanji that high. It took so long for Sanji to even get a bounty, right? So as far as people viewing the Straw Hats, the main threats are both Luffy and Zoro. Imagine if the story followed the Kid Pirates, right? If the Kid Pirates were the main characters and the Straw Hats were these other supernovas that came in, I'm pretty sure that the only two main Straw Hats that Oda would have highlighted in Sabaody would have been Luffy and Zoro, because those are the two main guys that mirror the characters that mirror Kid and Killer from the Kid Pirates. Then of course you have Heat and Wire, who are kind of extra combatants who are strong on that crew, just like the way we have Sanji in that crew and maybe Brook or something like that. Now I'm not saying that Heat is the strongest Sanji or that Wire and Heat are stronger than Sanji, but who knows, maybe Heat and Wire together equal Sanji in strength or something like that. I'm just saying, because of the focus of the story, we haven't got much of them, just because that's just the way it makes sense. That's the easiest way to do it, especially when you don't have time to just create a whole bunch of characters for no reason and flesh them out for no reason in an arc where it doesn't make sense. We'll see more of the Kid Pirates. It doesn't matter for now. What matters is that based on what has been necessary to reveal in the story, we don't know much about the Kid Pirates, and they could be absolute beasts because they managed to escape Totland on their own without any help. Okay, so finally we get to the issue of Jinbei. Now with Jinbei joining the crew, that's an extra boost which no argument can be made for the Kid Pirates. But I did say in a different video that we may see after the events that have gone on in the world that Kid Pirates may have someone join their crew. Now my boy over at Bubble D Boy assumes that we might see some of the Toby Ropo join Kid's crew. Now I'm not opposed to the idea. I don't know how likely it is, but it may happen. I, on the other hand, was really voting for someone like Weevil. Now if you want to know about the details of how that would happen, I made a video about that and I'll link that. Go and watch that video. But that's about it, right? So Kid is obviously, portrayed as being equal to Luffy. Killer is in no way being portrayed to be weaker than Zoro, and the rest of Kid's crew haven't shown anything else. But as far as, importance in the story, they could just be as equal as the Straw Hats. I mean, take some chapters where people don't even notice Sanji. Sanji had to mention to the world government that he matters, right? No one cared about Sanji, just like the way no one cares about the rest of Kid's crew. So, that being said, that's the end of this video. Guys, if you think I'm wrong, tell me why you think I'm wrong. Mention it down in the comments. Share this video with people who think that, Kid is trash, so that they know the truth. As always, guys, please subscribe for more content. And yeah, I forgot the way this part at the end goes. Let's say this again. Okay, so please like the video if you like the video and subscribe for more content. If you know someone who needs to hear the truth, please share this video with them. If you have time, watch one more video. And if not, thank you for watching this video thus far. This is King KZ, and I'll see you in the next one.